Hi everybody, welcome to another Let's Talk with Living Options Devon. Today we're talking about cerebral palsy and we're joined with Andrew. Hi Andrew.
Hiya, nice to be here.
And Becky.
Hello.
And myself, Lydia. You're a hub host and you're doing you help Therese with the fundraising, don't you, and the grant applications and everything.
Yeah, Fundraising Assistant and Hub host, I think.
You're the face of Living Options as well.
Oh, well, yeah.
You are our LOD poster boy, aren't you?
Oh, boy. What, I think in the past, yeah, not so much now.
Yeah, you could have seen Andrew right on the side of a bus once upon a time, if I remember rightly.
Yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I just said without thinking, yeah, go for it. Yeah, put me on, put me on that. But yeah, no, it's fine. I'm happy to. LOD's a really, great organisation, so I'm happy to help out in whatever way, and yeah, with the work they're doing.
So let's get straight into it. Cerebral palsy. So I did a bit of a Google search, as you do, and I know that cerebral palsy is a condition, a lifelong condition that can affect a person's movement and coordination. What does cerebral palsy mean to you, Andrew? What are your symptoms? How does it affect you?
Well, yeah, it's interesting one actually, because like you say, it affects people in different ways. I mean, for me, it's like muscle tightness, like particularly my legs, because it's mainly affecting my legs. I get tired quickly. It's a good excuse when you don't want to do stuff. That you can just say, I'm tired and whatever. But it's, tiredness can come on pretty suddenly. Yeah, quite a lot of muscle tightness. So at night it can be quite difficult if I'm having a particularly bad night, and my legs are a bit tight. But because I'm getting older, it's sometimes hard to kind of work out, is this pain or ache just my getting older, or is it to do with the CP? So it's interesting trying to work that out. But I'd say, yeah, mainly tiredness, a bit of, sometimes when I'm really tired with it, I can't always focus on tasks. I think that's part of it as well with CP. Sometimes you can have, say you've got 4 tasks to do, I'll remember 2 or 3, but I'll forget the one. That happens quite a lot. I think that is to do with the condition. But and I remember a lady that I was working with years ago, she said that, I don't know if it's like this for everyone, but in my case, it was like my muscles were never like completely relaxed, even when I was like resting, because of the tenseness of it. They're always quite, my muscles were always quite tense. Yeah. So even when I'm sitting, just relaxing, I'm still not totally relaxed, which can be a bit of an issue at times. But you just try and get on with it, I guess.
What sort of help and support is out there in the UK and Devon, more specifically for people with cerebral palsy, Andrew?
Well, the main charity is Scope, so they've got like they offer various bits of advice. They've got like a telephone helpline. I think they've got an online community. I've not been involved with them so much recently, but I was involved with them when I was younger. So they're like the main charity for CP. They work with children as well and families and help. If you've got a child with CP, they're really good for, advising families, parents on how to deal with it and how to help their child. So I believe that, even now they're still the main. And they do a lot of campaigning as well, for disability equality. So, yeah, it's a really good organisation.
Are there any kind of like treatments or anything for CP that can kind of help the symptoms of?
Yeah, I mean, it depends. I mean, I spoke to a nurse recently, because I was actually referred by my GP because I've been I've been thinking about the future and dealing with CP as I get older. And what that would mean. So I kind of wanted to talk to someone, because I've not really been involved with, like I say, Scope or anything recently. So I was referred by my GP to a nurse, so she kind of talked it through. So there's things you can take, like muscle relaxants and things, but they felt, and there's other medication depending, because CP is so different. It can affect like, arms, legs, speech. So it's all kind of different depending on the case. But in my case, she said, it probably wasn't the best idea. So we looked at other options, but depending on how it affects you, there is medication out there. I'd probably have to do a little bit more research myself on the different, on what's available.
Yeah, and are there different like stages and types and
Yeah, I mean, like I said, it affects my legs mainly, but also a bit my arms. So my right arm's quite weak. I had a friend who had CP. It mainly affected his arm, his right arm. So he kind of couldn't move it very well. I've known others where speech is affected. So like, you know, when I was born, my parents said that doctor said that I wouldn't be able to talk, you know, so it would affect my speech. So thankfully it didn't. It was just the legs. But yeah, it's quite varied, really, I guess.
I was just going to ask, so obviously we just talked about medication. Is there anything else that you, like you said about the muscles tightening in your legs, is there anything else that you can, do you do anything that kind of alleviate that or ease that, or?
Well, I realised lately, particularly with lockdowns and everything, I wasn't exercising so much. It's really important that you actually keep active as much as you can. So I tried to keep my upper body pretty active, and I realised that that was suffering a bit. And like I said, when I was referred to by my GP to the hospital recently, they set me up with this exercise group that I've joined. So I've just started doing that. So that's been really helpful. So particular exercises tailored to my condition, you know, because sometimes it's hard to like go to a gym sometimes if they don't know too much about your condition, whereas doing this, they know a bit more. So they put together some particular exercises that I can do at the group and also when I'm at home. So they're not too strenuous. But
how's it going?
Yeah, it's pretty well. Sometimes I get a bit of a back twinge or whatever because I'm not used to
using those muscles.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, but that's really helping, and like getting out and just getting the arms moving. I used to go swimming quite a lot, which I haven't done for a while. I'd like to get back into that if I could. That really helps for me anyway, to really like what's the word, to free up the muscles a bit, to really, you know, there's something about water, isn't there, that's quite healing, really. So yeah, I'd like to get back into that. But I've enjoyed doing the exercise group, and it's, you know, it's been nice to get some exercises tailored to my particular needs. So and there's also I've started to use this exercise bike, which is it kind of moves your legs for you. So you turn it on, and then you've got to kind of work with it a bit. But you just kind of, it just moves for you. So you just sit there and your legs go around. So it means not only am I getting some exercise for my upper body, I'm now getting exercise for my legs, which was difficult you know, previously. So
and also I can imagine very good for circulation and stuff like that as well, to get your body moving. Yeah,
because that kind of suffers as well, you know. There's atrophy and stuff as well, obviously, because I'm not using my legs, you know, like, so my upper body's quite, you know, quite good, quite strong, whereas my lower body is weaker, obviously. So it's nice to get a bit of exercise in the legs.
Yeah, brilliant.
When did you get diagnosed with CP, Andrew?
I think it was about a year after I was born. So
right.
That seems like quite a while, but excuse me, I don't think my parents knew for a while about it. I think it was about around my first birthday, I think.
Right.
If I remember because they've chatted to me about it in the past.
So are you born with it, or is it a condition that you can develop over time?
Well, I mean, I think, you know, brain injuries can, I mean, I don't know. Yeah, I mean, for me, I was born with it, and most people I've known have been born with it. Yeah. But I think, if brain injuries can, you know, I don't know, maybe I need to kind of research a bit more, but I think it can be brought on with, because it's a brain thing, it's brain damage, I guess.
So it's neurological then?
Yes, neurological condition, yeah. Yeah.
Interesting.
So, you know, affects, you know, balance and, you know, and movement and stuff. And so it's kind of weird to think of it as like brain damage in a way. It's like,
I guess that's why you get like different levels of it, don't you? And it affects people in different ways.
Yeah, exactly. It is quite varied in how it's certainly the people I've known. You can have like, you know, totally different cases person to person, you know.
Yeah.
So
you say you know quite a lot of people with cerebral palsy. Are you in like a support group or something then?
No, not at the moment. I mean, when I say I know people, not so much now, people have been saying to me about getting back into like support groups and stuff. So I have been thinking about it. But like in the past, I've had friends with, you know, a family friend with CP. But yeah, it's right now I wouldn't say I know too many people, but it's definitely in the past. And when I was involved with Scope, you know, when I was younger, I knew a few more people then. But yeah. Sorry, I don't know if that answers the
Yeah.
Great. Oh, there's some really positive things there though as well, and like you're saying about, you know, Scope's there for further information if people need it, and obviously they've got links to support groups and everything, haven't they? And just like just through adopting exercise and getting in touch with your GP and stuff, I suppose you can. Well, it's certainly not held you back, has it?
Well, you know,
in your own home and
I mean, you've got to kind of
stuff.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and you know, there are kind of restrictions, or there have been, and there are difficulties, but yeah, I've been able to do, you know, basically what I wanted to do, and like you say, you know, got my place, got the job, you know, at LOD, and you know, I'm pretty active. Although, yeah.
What advice would you give somebody with cerebral palsy who's potentially not kind of dealing with it so well? Like, what advice would you give them from your own personal experiences?
I mean, like I said, I you know, I went to my GP, who was helpful. I'd say again, Scope is really good. They've got, in terms of the support they provide with their telephone service, I think, and they've got like an online community going. I don't know if that's like expanded due to lockdown, or that was a result of lockdown, but that seems to be going well from what I've seen. So maybe get in touch with them, you know, get in touch with your GP or get in touch with Scope, and see what they can do. And, you know, try and keep yourself as active as you can, because getting fresh air and getting the muscles moving. And I say that I'm not the most active. I can be really, really lazy. So I'm like, you know, but yeah, it's just, I'm saying it to myself as well, you know.
Like yourself advice as well.
It's like, yeah, exactly. But yeah, that's what I'd say off the top of my head. Yeah.
Thank you
Andrew.
so much, Andrew.
No worries. Thanks for having me. It's been fun.